Empress X stood in the dark command center of her warship and looked at the blue planet below. Her two daughters were gone. They had been on that world for only 3 days, and now they did not answer the communication devices. The Empire had searched every city, used every scanner, and found nothing. Nothing at all. The commander named Al walked to her side. He was an old soldier who had fought in 40 wars. His face was hard and he did not speak easily, but he knew the Empress wanted answers, and he had none to give her. "How long have they been silent?" the Empress asked. 68 hours, Al said. His voice was low and tired. "We have spoken to every human official. They say they do not know what happened to the princesses. Our machines say they tell the truth." The Empress felt something inside her that she had never felt before. She was the ruler of 3,000 star systems. She had made choices that caused the deaths of millions. But those were just numbers. These were her daughters. Myra and Tessa were the future of her empire. They were young and smart, and they were somewhere on that world, and she could not find them. "Send down every soldier we have," she said. "Find my daughters, and the humans who took them will die slowly. Their world will burn. I will make them understand what it means to take from the Empress." Al nodded and left to carry out her orders. But before he went, the Empress saw something in his eyes. Fear. Her own commander was afraid of what she would do. That made her feel even worse. The Empress looked out at the blue world again. Somewhere down there, hidden from all her power and all her machines, were her children. The humans had them, or lost them, or killed them. She did not know, and not knowing was the worst thing of all. She put her hand on the window and felt the cold glass under her palm. For the first time in her long life, the most powerful being in the galaxy felt small and helpless. She felt like a mother who had lost her babies, and nothing else mattered anymore. The Empire would have to wait. The laws could wait. All of it could wait. She would find her daughters, and she would find out what happened to them. And then she would decide what to do with the humans who had taken them away. Deep in the forests of Earth, Myra and Tessa had no idea that their mother was preparing to destroy the world they stood on. The crash had been sudden and terrible. One moment they were safe in their ship, looking at the green planet below, and the next moment the machine was falling from the sky. Myra remembered the smell of burning metal. She remembered Tessa screaming her name. She remembered the hard impact that threw them both against the walls of the cabin. And then there was darkness. When they woke up, the ship was quiet except for the sound of warning bells that rang and rang. The communication system was broken. The power was dying. Their environmental suits, which should have kept them safe in any environment, were damaged. The seals were broken, and the power cells were almost empty. Tessa grabbed her sister's arm. "We are going to die here," she said. Her voice was small and scared, not like the confident voice of a princess at all. Myra looked at the controls. Nothing worked. She looked at the windows and saw only trees and green plants and the bright sun. It was beautiful and strange and terrifying. They had studied humans in school, but they had never truly understood them. They had never understood this world. "We need to get out," Myra said. "We need to find help." They left the broken ship and walked into the forest. The air was warm and wet, and it made breathing difficult. Their suits were dying. Without power, the suits would only work for one more day. Then they would start to get sick. Then they would die. They walked for hours. They followed the sound of running water because Myra remembered something from her studies. All living things need water. If they found water, they might find people. They found a small stream and followed it. The trees were tall and old, and they made the world dark and cool. Myra could hear the sound of animals. Strange birds called to each other in the branches above. She had never seen animals that were not in the learning chambers of the palace. Then they saw the shelter. It was a small tent made of cloth and wooden poles. It was not a real building, but it was built with skill. There was a pile of wood near the shelter and a place where a fire had been made. Someone lived here, someone human. They watched from the trees as the human came out of the shelter. He was tall and thin with brown skin and dark hair. He was looking up at the sky like he was searching for something. He wore simple clothes. His eyes were sharp and clear. The human suddenly turned and looked right at where they were hiding in the trees. Myra pulled her sister down. Had he seen them? Would he attack them? Would he capture them and keep them in a cage like the primitives in old human stories? But the human did not run away. He did not call out for help. He just stood there watching the forest where they hid. Then he did something that surprised them both. He waved his hand, slow and careful, like he was greeting someone. Myra looked at her sister. Tessa's eyes were wide and frightened. The human waved again, and then he did something even more strange. He sat down on the ground, away from his shelter, and just waited. He did not look scary now. He looked like he was trying to be small and safe. "What is he doing?" Tessa whispered. Myra had studied human behavior for 10 years. She knew about their culture and their history, but nothing in her studies had prepared her for this moment. The human was not attacking. He was not running. He was just sitting there like he was waiting for them to be ready. Myra had learned English from human radio broadcasts. She had practiced the words in her head many times. Now she would have to use those words to talk to a real human. The thought made her heart beat fast. She stood up and walked out from the trees. Tessa followed close behind her. They walked slowly toward the human. They did not know if this was a trick or a trap. They did not know if this human would try to hurt them or capture them. But they were dying and they had no other choice. The human watched them come. He did not move except to slowly raise his hands and show them empty. His face was calm. He was not afraid of them, and that made them less afraid of him. "Hello," Myra said in English. The word felt strange in her mouth. The human smiled, a real smile, and then he said the words that would change everything. "You look like you need help. Let me help you." David had been a forest ranger for 15 years. He had seen many strange things in the woods. He had found lost hikers. He had helped animals that were hurt or sick. He had learned that most creatures, when they were scared and alone, just needed someone to show them they were safe. But nothing in his life had prepared him for aliens. His name was David, and he was 36 years old. He had come to this remote forest because he liked to be alone. He liked the quiet. He liked the work that made sense and had clear answers. When a tree was sick, you could see it and fix it. When a trail needed repair, you could repair it. Life was simple out here. But life was about to become very complicated. David stood up slowly and kept his hands where the alien women could see them. He did not want to scare them. They looked tired and sick. Their clothes were strange and made of material he did not recognize. They moved like they were hurt. "My name is David," he said in a slow voice. "I am not going to hurt you." The taller one, the one with more confidence in her eyes, stepped forward. Her eyes were large and dark. Her skin had a faint glow to it like moonlight. "I am Myra," she said. Her English was good, but she spoke it like she was thinking about each word very carefully. "This is my sister Tessa. We need help. Our machine is broken. Our communication is broken. Everything is broken." David nodded. He understood that this was serious. These beings, whatever they were, needed help, and he was the only human around for many miles. "Come," he said, and he pointed to his tent. "Come inside. It is safe. We can talk about what you need." Myra and Tessa looked at each other. This was a dangerous moment. They did not know this human. They did not know if they could trust him, but their suits were failing. Their power was dying. They had no other choice. They followed David to his tent. Inside, it was small but clean. There was a sleeping bag, some supplies, a water filter, and boxes of food. David cleared a space and gestured for them to sit. They sat down carefully, like they were afraid the ground would not hold them. David went to his cooler and took out a bottle of water. He opened it and drank some to show them it was safe. Then he handed it to Myra. She looked at it like it was a strange object, but she drank. The water was cold and good, and she drank more than half the bottle. "Tell me what happened," David said. Myra explained. Their ship had malfunctioned during an observation mission. They had crashed in the forest. Their environmental suits were damaged. They needed to keep their temperature steady or they would become sick. They could not go to the human authorities because their people did not know they had crashed yet. If humans found out about them, there could be big problems. David listened to all of this. It was the most incredible story he had ever heard, but he could see the truth of it in their eyes. They were scared. They were alone. They needed help. "How long can you survive without power?" he asked. "Perhaps 12 hours more," Myra said. "After that, the temperature control in our suits will fail. We will get sick. We will not have much time after that." David thought about this. He thought about what the right thing to do was. He could call the government. He could call the scientists. He could make himself famous, but he knew what would happen. They would take these women away. They would study them. They might hurt them. Or he could help them himself. "I have a friend," David said. "Her name is Amy. She is a scientist who works at a research center about 30 miles from here. She is very smart. She knows a lot about helping people who are sick. Maybe she can help you." Myra shook her head. "We cannot risk it. It is too dangerous. If more humans know about us, more could go wrong." "You are already at risk," David said. He was honest and direct. "Your power is dying. You will get sick. You could die. Amy is a good person. She will not hurt you, and she will keep your secret if I ask her to." Tessa spoke for the first time since they entered the tent. Her voice was quiet but clear. "Sister, we are going to die. This human has already helped us. Maybe we should trust him more." Myra looked at her sister, then at David. There was something about this human that made her want to trust him. She had studied human culture for years. She knew that humans were unpredictable and sometimes violent, but she also knew that humans could be brave and kind. She could see both of those things in David's face. "Tell us about yourself," Myra said. "Why would you help us? What do you want in return?" David sat back and thought about how to answer this. "I help because it is the right thing to do. I do not help people to get something back. I help because when you see someone who needs help, you help them. That is what humans do. That is what I do." "But we are not human," Tessa said. "No," David agreed. "But you are alive. You can think and feel. You are scared and alone. That is enough. That is all the reason I need." Myra felt something inside her that she had never felt before. Her whole life, people had helped her because she was the princess. They wanted power. They wanted money. They wanted status. But David wanted nothing. He just wanted to help. "Okay," she said. "We will trust you. We will go to meet Amy." David nodded. "Then we should go now. We should go while it is still light. The forest is easier to travel in during the day." He packed his bag with water and food. He gave Myra and Tessa a jacket each to help them hide their strange clothes and bright skin. It was not a perfect disguise, but it would work if they did not look too carefully. As they were about to leave, Myra looked around the tent. This small shelter had been the only place of safety they had found on this world. David had given it to them without asking for anything in return. "Why?" she asked suddenly. "Why did you choose to help us? You could have called your authorities. You could have reported us. You could have become rich or famous." David looked at her for a long moment. Then he said something that would stay with Myra for the rest of her life. "Because I am not that kind of person. Because some things matter more than money or fame. You are someone's daughters. You are someone's sisters. Someone loves you and is worried about you right now. I would want someone to help you if I could not be there. That is why." Myra did not have words for what she felt in that moment. She just knew that this human, this primitive creature that her people thought was less than them, had more goodness in him than most of her own kind. They left the tent together and walked into the forest. Behind them, the sun was setting over the trees. Ahead of them, an uncertain future waited. But for the first time since the crash, Myra felt like there might be hope. And it had come from a human. The walk to Amy's facility took longer than David had planned. Myra and Tessa were not used to walking on Earth. The ground was uneven. The air was thick and hot. Every step was difficult for them. David had to slow down many times and help them over rough places. By the time they got close to the research center, the sun was low in the sky. David knew this area well. The facility was hidden behind a fence and tall trees. It was a small place, just a few buildings where Amy and a small team studied the forest and how to protect it. David stopped before they reached the gate. "I need to warn Amy before you come inside," he said. "If she is scared, she might call the police, so I will go first and explain. Can you wait here?" Myra wanted to say no. She wanted to stay with David where she could see him, but she understood that he was right. She nodded. "Stay in these trees," David said. "Stay hidden. Do not let anyone see you. I will come back in a few minutes." David walked toward the facility. Myra and Tessa hid behind some thick bushes and watched him go. Tessa's hand found her sister's hand. "What if he brings soldiers?" Tessa asked. "What if this is a trap?" "Then we run," Myra said, but she did not believe that David would betray them. She could not explain why, but she trusted him. Inside the facility, Amy was working late. Amy was 42 years old and had spent her whole life studying nature. She did not have a family. She did not have a husband. She had science and the forest, and that was enough for her. When David walked in with dirt on his clothes and a strange look in his eyes, Amy knew something was wrong. "David," she said, "what happened? Are you hurt?" "I need your help with something," David said, "and I need you to promise me that you will listen to the whole story before you make any decision." Amy had known David for 15 years. She had never seen him act strange like this. "Okay," she said slowly, "tell me." David told her everything. He told her about the crash. He told her about Myra and Tessa. He told her that they were aliens from another world and that they needed help to survive. He told her that if the authorities found out, bad things would happen. Amy listened to the whole story without interrupting. When David was finished, she just stared at him for a long moment. "You brought aliens to my facility," she said finally. "I brought two people who need help," David said. "They are scared and hurt and dying. You can help them. You are the person I know. Will you help them?" Amy stood up and walked to the window. She looked out at the forest. She thought about all the years she had spent helping animals, helping plants, helping the forest. She thought about what it meant to be responsible for something. "Show me," she said. David brought Amy to where Myra and Tessa were hiding. When Amy saw them, she made a noise like she had forgotten how to breathe. They were not what she expected. They were beautiful in a strange way. They looked scared. "Hello," Amy said in the same quiet voice she used with frightened animals. "My name is Amy. David said you need help." Myra stepped forward. "We are dying," she said simply. "Our suits are failing. We need help to survive in this atmosphere." Amy looked at their suits and at their skin and at their eyes. She could see the truth of it. They were sick. They needed help. "Come inside," Amy said. "I have equipment. I can try to help you." Inside the facility, Amy asked 1,000 questions. What was their physiology like? What was their body temperature? What gases did they breathe? Myra answered everything. She explained her people's science. She explained what she knew about how to keep herself and her sister alive. Amy used her equipment and her knowledge to create a solution. It was not perfect. It was temporary, but it would keep Myra and Tessa alive long enough to figure out what to do next. As Amy worked, she talked to the alien women. She asked them about their world. Myra told her about the great cities under the sky. She told her about the ships that traveled between stars. She told her about her mother, the Empress, who ruled 3,000 star systems. "Your mother must be very powerful," Amy said. "She is," Myra said. She is the most powerful being in the galaxy, but right now she is also very worried. She does not know if we are alive or dead." Amy looked at David, then at Myra. She understood what was happening here. This was a test. Not a test for Myra and Tessa, but a test for humanity. Would humans help aliens, or would they try to capture them and use them for power? "We should try to contact your mother," Amy said. "You should let her know you are safe." "That is dangerous," Myra said. "My mother is preparing for war. If she knows we are alive, she might still destroy this world to make sure we are protected." "Or," Amy said, "she might understand that humans are not what she thinks we are. She might understand that we can be good, that we can help instead of hurt." Myra looked at Amy with new understanding. This woman was right. The only way to stop a war was to show that peace was possible. "How long will it take to contact her?" Myra asked. "I do not know," Amy said, "but we can try. We can use the communication systems at the facility. Your mother is in space." "Yes," Myra said. "She is above this world in a warship, but if I send a message, it might take time to reach her." "Then we start now," Amy said. David and Amy worked through the night to set up a communication system. It was not the same as the technology that Myra's people used, but it was close enough. They built a way to send a signal to the ships in orbit above Earth. By morning, they had everything ready. Myra sat at the computer and prepared her message. She explained that she and Tessa were safe. She explained that a human had saved their lives. She asked her mother to give humans a chance before she attacked. She hit the button to send the message. Now there was nothing to do but wait. Outside the facility, the forest was quiet. But up in space, above the blue planet, an Empress received a message that would change everything. Her daughters were alive, and they had been saved by a human. In the command center of her warship, Empress X was preparing to attack. Her fleets were ready. Her weapons were armed. She had given her soldiers the order to be ready to strike within the hour. She would destroy the human cities. She would burn their world. She would make them understand the price of taking her daughters. Al stood beside her, waiting. He knew the attack was coming. He knew what would happen next. Millions would die. A whole species would be almost erased, all because the Empress had lost her children. But the Empress did not attack. Instead, she stood and looked out at the blue world and thought about her daughters. Where were they? Were they scared? Were they hurt? Then the communication system made a sound. A message was coming through, not from her fleet, not from her own people, a message from Earth, from the human world. Al's hand moved to his weapon, but the Empress stopped him with a gesture. "Play it," she said. The screen came to life and Myra appeared, her daughter, alive. Her face was thin and tired, but she was alive. The Empress felt the air leave her body. For 3 days she had imagined her daughter dead. For 3 days she had prepared to destroy a world in revenge. And now her daughter appeared on a screen, very much alive. "Mother," Myra said, and the Empress's heart almost broke just hearing her voice. "I am safe. Tessa is safe. We crashed in the forest on Earth and a human named David found us. He saved our lives." The Empress did not move. She did not breathe. She just listened. Myra explained how their ship had crashed. She explained how David had sheltered them without asking for anything in return. She explained how another human named Amy had helped them survive. She explained that the humans had risked their own safety to help her and her sister. "I know you were going to attack this world," Myra said. "I know you were preparing for war, but Mother, you cannot. These humans are not what we thought they were. They are not primitive. They are not savage. They showed us kindness when they had no reason to. They helped us when helping us was dangerous for them." Then another face appeared on the screen, a male human with kind eyes. This was David. "Empress," David said, and his English was simple and clear. "I do not know your language. I do not know your customs, but I know that your daughters are good people. I know that they are scared. I know that they needed help, and I gave it because that is what living things do. We help each other." The Empress was silent. In her whole life, no one had ever spoken to her like this. No one had ever looked her in the eye like this human was doing. This small, fragile, primitive human was talking to the most powerful being in the galaxy like they were equals. "I understand that you are afraid," David continued. "I understand that you want to protect your children. My mother wanted to protect me too. She did everything she could to keep me safe. I think that is the same in all beings. We want our children safe. We want our family safe. That is not primitive. That is good." Then a third human appeared, a woman. "I am Amy," she said. "I am a scientist. I have studied Earth and the life on it for many years. I can tell you that Myra and Tessa are safe with us. We will take care of them. We will protect them as if they were our own sisters." The Empress looked at Al. His hand had fallen away from his weapon. "What do you think?" the Empress asked. Al was quiet for a long moment. Then he said something that surprised the Empress. "I think, Majesty, that we have been wrong about these humans. I think that the princesses are right. These humans have goodness in them that we did not expect." The Empress turned back to the screen. Myra was still there, waiting, hopping. "Can you hear me?" the Empress asked. "Yes, Mother," Myra said. "Can you hear me?" "I hear you," the Empress said. "I hear you and I understand. The humans helped you. They protected you. They asked for nothing in return. This is unusual." "It is what they do," Myra said. "It is who they are." The Empress thought about this. She had spent her life studying other species, learning their weaknesses, preparing to fight them if needed. But she had never tried to understand them. She had never looked for the good in them. "Stand down, all forces," the Empress commanded. Her voice was loud enough for everyone in the command center to hear. "Majesty," Al said. "Stand down, all forces," she repeated. "We will not attack. We will not destroy. My daughters are alive and they are safe. The humans have shown them mercy. We will return that mercy." She turned her attention back to the screen where her daughter waited. "Myra," the Empress said, "you will stay with these humans for now. You will learn about their world. You will understand their culture. And then you will return to me and tell me everything you have learned. Can you do this?" "Yes, Mother," Myra said. Her voice was shaking. She was crying. "I can do this." "And David," the Empress said, looking at the human male. "Humans call this a debt, yes. You have saved my daughters. You have shown them kindness. This is a great debt. I cannot forget it." David looked at the screen carefully. "With respect, Empress, I did not help your daughters because I wanted a reward. I helped them because they needed help. That is all. That is the only thing I wanted." The Empress felt something move in her chest, pride, shame, both. "Perhaps," she said slowly, "that is exactly why I owe you a debt, because you asked for nothing, because you gave everything." She ended the communication and sat back in her throne. Around her, the soldiers waited to see what their ruler would do next. "Send a message to the human governments," the Empress said. "Tell them that the Empress X thanks them for sheltering the Princess Myra and Princess Tessa. Tell them that we come in peace, not in war. Tell them that I wish to know more about humans and their world." Al moved quickly to send the message. "Majesty," he said, "what of our military position? Our fleets are still here. Should we retreat?" The Empress shook her head. "No," she said, "keep the fleets, but change their orders. We are no longer here as a threat. We are here as observers. We are here to learn." She looked back at the planet below and thought about the three humans down there. David, who had saved her daughters, Amy, who had helped them, and Myra and Tessa, who had shown their mother that humans were not what she had believed them to be. "Call the council," the Empress said. "I want them to know about this. The galaxy must know that we have found something unexpected on Earth. We have found courage. We have found kindness. We have found humans who are willing to help strangers without reward." "And what will we do with this information?" Al asked. The Empress smiled for the first time in days. "We will learn from it," she said. We will learn that power without compassion is nothing. We will learn that a primitive species with a good heart can teach the most advanced civilization in the galaxy something important about what it means to be alive. 3 months had passed since the crash. The research facility had been expanded. Humans and aliens worked together now. Engineers from David's world worked with Myra's people to build a communication station. Scientists studied the differences between human biology and alien biology. Leaders from many nations came to the facility to meet Myra and Tessa. But the most important relationship that had formed was between David and the two princesses. David had taken leave from his job as a ranger. He spent his days helping Myra and Tessa understand Earth better. He showed them forests and rivers. He taught them about human culture and history. He brought them books about humanity and explained what humans believed in and what they valued. Myra spent her evenings writing reports to her mother about everything she was learning. The Empress read every word carefully. Her understanding of humans changed with each report. But something was changing in Myra too. One evening, as the sun set over the forest, David and Myra sat outside the facility watching the colors in the sky. Tessa was inside working with the engineers. Amy was in the laboratory doing research. It was just the two of them. "I have to leave soon," David said. "My supervisor asked me to return to my job. I cannot take leave forever." Myra did not respond right away. She had known this day would come, but she had hoped it would not. Over these 3 months, she had come to understand David in a way she had never understood any being before. "I know," she said finally, "but I do not want you to go." "I do not want to leave you either," David said, "but the world needs me to do my job. The forest needs me." Myra turned to look at him. "My mother has asked me when I will return to her. She says the Empire needs me. She says I have learned enough about humans." "What did you tell her?" David asked. "I told her I was not ready to leave yet," Myra said. "I told her that there was still much to learn." "Is that true?" David asked. "Or is there another reason?" Myra looked back at the sunset. She thought about the day David had found her and Tessa in the forest. She thought about how scared she had been. She thought about how this human had shown her a kind of strength she had never known existed. "There is another reason," she said. "I do not want to leave you, David. I do not know how to say this in human words, but my heart does not want to be separated from you." David reached over and took her hand. Her skin was cool and soft, and it fit in his hand like it was meant to be there. "Myra," he said, "I feel the same way, but I do not know if this is right. You are a princess. I am just a ranger. You will go back to your empire and your mother will find you a mate who is powerful and important. You cannot stay with me." "Maybe," Myra said. "Or maybe my mother is learning the same thing I have learned. Maybe power and importance do not matter as much as we thought. Maybe what matters is who you are inside. Maybe what matters is whether you can love someone enough to give up everything for them." Before David could answer, a bright light appeared in the sky. It was a ship, an alien ship. It was landing at the facility. David and Myra stood up. Tessa came running out of the building. Amy and the engineers came outside to watch. The ship landed in the large open area near the facility. The door opened and soldiers came down first, tall and armored. Then, walking carefully down the ramp, was the Empress X herself. Myra ran to her mother, and they embraced. The Empress held her daughter like she was afraid to let her go. "I have read every report you sent," the Empress said. "I have understood everything you wrote, and I have come to see for myself." She looked over at David and Amy, and the other humans who had gathered. "You are the ones who saved my daughters," the Empress said. Her voice was deep and strong, and it made the humans feel small. "We helped them because they needed help," Amy said. She stood forward even though she was afraid. "That is all. We did not know who they were at first. We just knew they were in trouble." The Empress walked toward David. He did not move. He stood tall even though this being was so much larger than he was. "You are David," the Empress said, "the one my daughter could not stop writing about." David felt his face get hot. "Yes, Empress, I am David." "My daughter says you taught her that compassion is a form of strength," the Empress said. "She says you showed her that the smallest human is worth protecting. She says you are the reason she understands that all beings, no matter how advanced or primitive, have value." "I only helped her because it was right," David said. "I do not think I taught her anything. She has learned on her own." The Empress looked at Myra, then she looked back at David. "My daughter has asked if she can stay on Earth longer," the Empress said. "She says she wants to understand humans better. She says there is someone here she does not want to leave." The Empress stepped to the side and gestured for David and Myra to come forward. "In my empire," the Empress continued, "we have a law that a princess can choose her own path if she has demonstrated wisdom. Myra has demonstrated wisdom. She has shown courage. She has shown that she understands what matters in life." "Mother," Myra said, "what are you saying?" "I am saying," the Empress replied, "that if you choose to stay with this human, I will not stop you. I will not order you to return. I will not demand that you marry someone of your own kind. I am saying that I have learned something from humans. I have learned that love and choice matter more than power and control." Myra looked at David. Tears were running down her face. David took her hand. "Are you sure?" he asked. "You would give up being a princess. You would give up your empire." "No," Myra said. "I will not give up my empire. I will share it with you. My mother can teach you and you can teach her, and together we can build something new. Something that humans and my people have never had before. Partnership." The Empress nodded. "This is true. I offer David a position. You will be the human ambassador to my empire. You will teach us what humans have taught you. You will help us build a bridge between our worlds." David looked at the Empress, then he looked at Amy, then he looked at Myra. "I accept," he said, "but I want Amy to come with me. I want her to help teach your people about Earth and about humanity." Amy stepped forward. "I would be honored to help," she said. The Empress extended her hand to David in a gesture she had learned from human customs. David took it, and they shook, human and alien, establishing a connection that would change the galaxy forever. As the sun finished setting and stars began to appear in the sky, the two species stood together. A human ranger who had shown kindness to strangers, an alien princess who had learned that the most primitive species could teach the most advanced ones how to love, an empress who had learned that power without compassion was worthless. And in that moment, a new era began. The aliens and humans began to work together. They shared knowledge. They shared technology. They shared their cultures and their histories. The humans taught the aliens about art and music and love. The aliens taught the humans about science and how to travel between stars. Years passed. David and Myra got married in a ceremony that blended human and alien traditions. They had children who were half human and half alien. The empire of the Empress X and the nations of Earth became partners in exploring the galaxy. But it all started with one simple act. One human who saw beings in trouble and chose to help. One human who did not ask for reward. One human who understood that compassion was the greatest power in the universe. In the end, the Empress would tell the story of Myra and Tessa and David to all the leaders of the galaxy. She would tell them that the greatest discovery they had ever made was not technology or power. The greatest discovery was that goodness exists in unexpected places, that even the most primitive species can show the most advanced ones how to be truly civilized. And that story, the story of how an alien princess and a human ranger changed the galaxy, would be remembered forever.